So here's another question. John, do you have any memories of the Last Supper? And what do you know or believe about the Holy Grail? Forgive me if you've already talked about this, as I am new to your channel. It's okay. Last Supper. I don't remember one declared as a Last Supper. I remember suppers. I remember, and quite honestly, would we have known it was the Last Supper? That's the designation of the Last Supper. Probably happened afterwards. I remember plenty of suppers. I remember plenty of times. I don't remember the big story that you hear in the Bible, and I don't have memory of that. That's not to say it didn't happen. I just don't have memory of it. I also don't think of the significance of it, which is interesting, because it was a supper. It was a meal. The other question that you asked, which I'm looking at here, what I know about the Holy Grail. The Holy Grail and a lot of the big Crusader quest stories that you hear are medieval stories. They're medieval tales. They were the time of Christianity in the early Middle Ages, early medieval period. They have all these stories of grails. Right now, if they collected all of the medieval era pieces of the cross, and I say medieval era because they have no record of them before the medieval era, when sacred relics became a big business. They said that if they collected all the medieval era pieces of the true cross, that they would be able to make, 100 crosses or something ridiculous like that. There's so many pieces that are of the true cross. And people, well, that's a miracle. No, it's not a miracle. It's people making money off of pieces of wood, right? The Holy Grail. It's an esoteric story. And I will tell you, one of the memories I do have is the crucifixion. And I do remember helping carry him to the tomb. I remember that. Those are some of the memories I do have. I will guarantee you there was not a time in this entire time that someone ran over and held a cup under his side to catch the blood coming from him. It didn't happen. It isn't a reality. There is no Holy Grail. And this whole modern esoteric thing of the Grail really being Mary Magdalene. It's modern esoteric stuff. It's not real. It's not real. Let's talk about Mary Magdalene, and I have to say this over and over again. Mary Magdalene was his wife. He called her Ishti. Ishti meant wife, and he jokingly called her Ishti. Ishti, how you doing, Ishti? It's like I would say, what's going on, wife? Joking around with my wife, right? He called her Ishti. When the crucifixion happened, I had Mother Mary and his wife with me because I was asked to take care of them. And after the crucifixion, after he was put in the tomb, I took his wife and his mother, and I got them out of the city, right? And the interesting thing is that, they talk about going back to the tomb, and I don't remember anything about going back to the tomb and it being open or anything. But I do remember being back in Galilee and having him show up on the shore after that with no marks on him whatsoever. So I do remember him after the crucifixion. But I did a whole video on that. You can find that on the channel. What did he resurrect? I think it's called. But Mary Magdalene lived with me in Galilee after the crucifixion. Lived with me in Galilee after the crucifixion. Until her family came to get her from Magdala and took her back there. So she wasn't pregnant. She didn't have children. So all those stories of bloodlines that everyone wanted to talk about after Dan Brown wrote the Da Vinci Code. And people say, well, this channeler said this, and this has to be true. No, channelers can be wrong. Channelers can be swayed by the thoughts that people are putting out and authors are putting out, just like anybody else. The memories I have are very clear, and I try my best not to be swayed by anything. I try my best not to be swayed by. I try to keep it as simple as possible. And when I have my memories, people want to argue with me. They want to fight me. They want to say, well, you're wrong about this and you're wrong about that. If that's what you believe, that's fine. I'm going to believe what I believe because they're my memories. They're the things that I have in my head, right? They're the things that are there. And I can only judge by my experience, not your experience. But I will tell you, my memory is very clear in the fact that the Holy Grail was not some esoteric, reference to Mary Magdalene. It was not some esoteric reference to the divinity of the blood of Christ. And it definitely was not a venerated object by any of us. It wasn't something we held on to. It's a medieval myth. And a lot of the stories are medieval myths. I mean, if you really think about even the concepts that Christianity uses about heaven and hell right now, they were written in the 1300s by Dante when he wrote his Inferno. But they aren't biblical. But the churches nowadays use Dante's visions to the devil and hell. The medieval era had a huge input on the visuals of Christianity, the stories of Christianity, and they created all kinds of stories and all kinds of relics. And I would say this: there's no relic out there that's important. The only thing that's in the physical world that's important is your awareness of your oneness with God. Because anything else, in the words of John Spencer on the West Wing, he said, everything else is crap. Right? Let it all go. The stuff, the stories in the physical world, all that stuff. Live loving. That's all he wanted. That's all he ever asked for. And he is not, and he also didn't want to be deified for saying it. So that's my thought on that. You guys have a great day, and I'll talk to you soon. See ya. Bye. Thank you, my friends, for watching this video. If you enjoyed it, please make sure that you've subscribed and you like it, you share it, but also comment below it. Let's get this community talking about these topics and spreading this information out far and wide so we can change the world for the better. Thank you.